Okay, so among the cestodes, this is the last parasite that we will discuss under cestode. So we have here the Diphyllobotrium latum, and also known as the broad fish tapeworm. So if there's a thing that you should remember, if you hear the Diphyllobotrium latum, is that we already discussed in our prelims, is that it is associated with macrocytic anemia because the Diphyllobotrium latum has an affinity to vitamin B12. Okay, so we'll discuss a general information associated with this parasite. There are among the different cestodes that we discuss. Okay, take note na ito yung black sheep. Okay, black sheep siya. So iisipin niyo, bakit kaya siya black sheep? Why? Because it needs two intermediate hosts. Aside from that, okay, unlike yung ibang cestodes, they only need one, or there are also na walang intermediate host, di ba? But here, it needs two intermediate hosts that makes it the black sheep. Pero pag sa mga flukes, sino naman yung black sheep sa flukes? These are the schistosoma. Pero pag cestodes, okay, um, this is the Diphyllobotrium latum. Okay? So two intermediate hosts are required, fish at saka water flea. Okay, copepods. Okay, copepods and fish. And take note, human can be infected by eating or consuming undercooked infected fish containing the fluorosarcoid larva. Okay, Plerocercoid. Several fish-eating mammals serve as definitive host: bears, cat, dogs, and humans. So, sino ba yung mga definitive host? The animals and humans that consumes the fish, because it's within the infective stage is contained in the fish. Okay? So, aside from that, okay, so I already mentioned this one. This is the infective stage. Okay? Wherein it can be obtained from ingestion of raw or undercooked infected fish. Okay? So larvae attach to the mucosal lining of the small intestine and develop to adult. So the usual pa rin, the usual habitat of the parasite is in the small intestine. Okay? So the diagnostic stage, that is eggs or proglatids found in the feces. Okay? Okay, so a bit of a review. Among the different cestodes, sino yung extraintestinal? Siya yung may hydatid cyst, yung sa liver, sa lungs. Si Echinococcus granulosus. Okay? So, siya yung extraintestinal. Aside from that, okay, so we already mentioned bakit siya black sheep ng mga cestodes. It needs two intermediate hosts. Okay, aside from that, it's Plerocercoid larva ang kanyang infective stage. And aside from that, look at this one. Okay, so this is the head part of the Diphyllobotrium. Okay? So, di ba, naiiba siya, it's spatulate, para siyang spoon. Okay? Or spatula. And aside from that, that is the largest. What is the longest nematode? That is the Dacronculus medinensis. But for tapeworms, the largest, longest, we have the Diphyllobotrium latum. Okay? How about yung tatlo lang yung kanyang um, proglottids, immature, mature, and ano na ulit yung isa? Immature, mature, and gravid. Okay, so that is high, high, high. Okay, si papansin, Hymenolipis. Okay, so remember those. Okay, longest, it can reach up to 15 meters. Yung scolex niya kakaiba, almond shape. Okay, pero parang spatula, spatulate. Okay, or parang siyang spoon. Okay, almond shape with a pair of structural grooves known as botria. Kaya nga siya tinawag na botrium. Botria. So, here, meron siyang botria. Botria yung tawag dyan. Okay? Proglotids rosette-shaped uterus. Okay? So, that is the rosette-shaped uterus. Uterine pore. Ito pala, that's uterine pore. Yung rosette shape, hindi masyado nakikita. Okay? So, that is centrally located ang kanyang uterine pore. So, ito naman sexy. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo siya, sexy ang kanyang proglotids. Why? Di ba hindi kagayang iba is rectangular. Ito is meron siyang pa-curve. Okay? Parang tiyan ng sexy na babae. So, di ba? Yan. Tapos isipin mo, that's the navel. Okay? That's the navel. Diba? Kasi nasa gitna naman yung navel ng mga babae. Gulat tayo kapag nasa side mo yung navel. Okay? So, rosette shape, the uterine pore is centrally located. Si Tanya, di ba, sa side, sa gilid, dito yung kanyang uterine pore. Okay? So, but here, it's centrally located. Aside from that, di ba, kaya siya black sheep, ang daming reason on why this is the black sheep of the cestodes. Meron siyang operculum. Ano na ulit yung operculum? It's where the larvae exits from the egg. Unlike for other cestodes, sumasabog lang sila. Okay, basta sasabog na lang. Dito, meron siyang opening, maarte. Okay? So, it has an operculum. It's where the larvae exit. So, there are several reasons on why I call this as the black sheep of the cestodes because of the characteristics. Its characteristics are very much different from other cestodes. Okay? So, yun, tatandaan nyo yung mga characteristic ni Diphyllobotrium. So, Diphyllobotrium, the black sheep, it needs two intermediate hosts. The infective stage is pleurocercoid larva. Its scolex, okay? Its scolex is almond-shaped, spatulate, or para siyang spoon-shaped, basta kakaiba. It does not have hooks. Instead, it has botria, which are structural grooves. Yung proglotids niya, sexy, okay, rosette shape, okay, ang kanyang uterus, pero sexy yung, kasi nga hindi siya straight lang, okay, yung uterine pore niya centrally located. Okay, and aside from that, that's the largest or the longest, like tapeworm. And yung kanyang egg, di ba, meron siyang operculum. So, several reasons on bakit siya yung black sheep. Okay, complications include intestinal obstruction and gallbladder disease. Of course, guys, take note, it can reach up to 15 meters. Therefore, if you just imagine, what if a worm is living in you and that is 15 meters? Mas mahaba pa siya sa pangarap mo. Diba? Ang haba. Okay? So, it can cause intestinal obstruction if that's the case. Okay? Kasi yung 15 meters na yan, it will only jump up itself into your intestine. So, imagine 15 meters. And it can also cause gallbladder disease. Okay? Caused by migration of the proglotids to different sites. Diagnosis is made by the identification of eggs or segments of the tapeworm in the stool sample with a microscope. Safe and effective medications are available to treat Diphyllobotrium. Okay, infections are acquired by eating raw or undercooked fish. Okay, so ilang beses na natin sinabi. Ano yung isa pa niyang intermediate host? Copepods. Okay, fish infected with Diphyllobotrium larvae may be transported to and consumed in any area of the world, but for the prevention, adequately freezing or cooking the fish will kill the parasite. This is, di ba, if you have noticed, there are so many parasites that can be consumed or that is present in fishes. Okay, or that are present in fishes. That's why, di ba yung sa sushi kasi that is fresh. Okay, kaya I'm afraid to consume any fish na fresh or raw or not cooked because of the parasite that we are studying. Okay, sabi nila masarap. Eh, kahit na masarap kung magkaka-parasite ako, never mind. Okay. So, clinical manifestations, oops, same pa din with other cestodes, usually asymptomatic. But if there are possible signs and symptoms, okay, yung mga clinical manifestation niya that is related to the intestine. Okay, abdominal discomfort, diarrhea, vomiting, weight loss. And of course, ito yung pinaka-important, vitamin B12. Okay, it can result to vitamin B12 deficiency if a person is infected with Diphyllobotrium latum. Kasi nga, the Diphyllobotrium latum has an affinity with this vitamin. Okay? So, that can lead to macrocytic anemia. And if that's the case, if there's vitamin B12 is also very important in our brain. Okay? For brain functioning. So, there can be also associated imbalances that will happen in the brain, like neurologic symptoms. Okay? So, complications, yun nga yung intestinal obstruction, gallbladder disease. So, naulit yan. Naulit ba? Caused by demigration of proglotid. So, if you remember, ito lang yung pseudophyllidian. Okay? Siya lang yung pseudophyllidian. The rest, they are cyclophyllidian cestodes. Okay? So, it has botria grooves, hindi hooks. Okay? All species associated with human Diphyllobotrium infection have marine or aquatic life cycle. Okay? And transmission via undercooked, contaminated fish. It's very easy. So, yung scolex niya, di ba, kakaiba. So, we have here yung kanyang grooves, sucking grooves. Okay? So, that's the scolex. Okay, so as you can see here, that's the margin 15 meters. Okay, so that's the maximum. It doesn't mean that that's the size na lahat na ng infection with Diphyllobotrium ay aabot ng 15. That can be lesser, pero there are documents kasi that it can reach up to 15 meters. Okay, so it can cause intestinal obstruction. Imagine the size and the length. Many people exhibit vague diagnostic symptoms such as weight loss and weakness. Of course, that can weight loss and weakness. Bakit kaya? Because take note guys, a 15-meter long parasite taken up so much space in your intestine. That's why it cannot function so well. Okay? Hindi rin siya magpa-function ng maigi. Okay? And take note, diba, dito, they do not have digestive system. So what will happen? They will compete with the nutrients, okay, present in the small intestine. Instead that your small intestine will absorb the nutrients, the Diphyllobotrium or other cestodes will absorb the nutrients. So, naging intestine na din siya. Bakit? Kasi diba, since wala silang digestive system, hindi naman nila sinasak or kinakain yung nutrients mo, instead, yung mga proglotids na to, ina-absorb nila yung nutrients sa ating small intestine. That's why that can lead to weight loss, okay? And of course, weakness, okay? May cause macrocytic anemia and eventual nervous system disturbances due to vitamin B12 deficiency because the Diphyllobotrium latum has an affinity with vitamin B12. Okay? So, nagkakaroon ng macrocytic anemia. So, we have here the life cycle. So, as you can see, these are example. This is, I hope you can see the illustration or may arrow. But anyway, so we have here yung cope pads na sinasabi. So, let's start here. A person, ito scolex niya. So, ito meron pang iba, but we'll only discuss yung sa Diphyllobotrium. Okay, so let's start dito na lang. Okay, sa number 6 instead sa 1. So, how can a human be infected? That is by consuming, okay, consuming a fish raw or undercooked, contaminated, or infected fish containing the plerocercoid larva. Okay, so the plerocercoid larva, okay, that will what? Mature in the small intestine of an individual. So, eto. Okay, so that will mature in the small intestine of an individual. And the diagnosis is usually what? The microscopic examination of the egg. Okay, microscopic examination of the egg as well as the proglotids. Okay, so unimbryonated eggs pass in the feces. So, yan yung kanyang diagnostic stage. The infective stage, that is the plerocercoid larva found in the fish. Okay? So, what else? Take note, it has an operculum. Meron siyang cap. Okay? So, iniisip ko dyan parang meron siyang sombrero. And that will embryonate in the water. So, kakaiba siya, di ba? Kasi, if we compare it with the nematodes, si Ascaris and Trichuris, they need the soil to embryonate. But for Diphyllobotrium naman, it needs the water for it to embryonate. So, after embryonation, Coracidia hatch from eggs and are ingested by the intermediate host, yung mga crustaceans, yung copepods. Okay? The copepods, crustaceans will be ingested by the fish. That's the reason or that's the case on why it can be infected. Okay? So, yun guys. So, as simple as that. So, that's the life cycle. So, why is it that we have here dogs, parang ducks ba yan? Okay, and we have seal ba to? Okay, because they consume fish. Okay, lalong-lalo na sila, di ba? Lalong-lalo na sila because lalong-lalo yung seal. Kasi yun talaga yung kanyang main food. Okay? So, and they do not cook the fish. Unlike si humans, we have a chance to avoid infection even if the fish is infected because we can cook the fish. Okay, so prevention, yun nga, do not eat raw or undercooked fish. The FDA recommends the following for fish preparation or storage to kill the parasite. So, cook fish adequately. So, at least 63 degrees Celsius. Okay? Freezing. Pag na-freeze daw yan, okay, so, that can also kill the plerocercoid larva. So, story time. Story time na naman tayo dito. Okay, so we have here si Lati. So, ako naman dito, latum. Okay, Diphyllobotrium latum. Lati is a 12-year-old. Bakit sold? Okay, bakit kaya yan 12? Ano naisip ko dyan at naging 12 siya? Vitamin B12. Yeah. It's a vitamin B12. Okay, so Lati, a 12-year-old, that should be old, ha? Hindi sold. Palitan ko na nga. A 12-year-old, Lati for Latum, 12 years old. 12 years old, that is for vitamin B12, is a sexy girl. So, I am referring here dun sa proglottids. Okay? Kasi if you remember, yung kanyang proglottids, hindi siya straight. Instead, may paganon. Diba? Okay? Yan. A sexy girl with, eto kasi nirush ko lang to, is a sexy girl and has long legs. That should be and has long legs. Bakit? Bakit long? Longest tapeworm. Okay? She places her bag in the middle of her body, middle. Okay? Dito, that's the uterine pore. Uterine pore is found in the middle and wears a cup. Bakit may cup? We are referring to the operculum ng kanyang egg. Okay, meron siyang operculum. Okay, so, yan, meron siyang operculum. Okay, and then went into the restaurant. She ordered raw fish, okay, with a pungent smell. Ito, raw fish. Okay, so that is the mode of infection. Consuming, eating undercooked or raw fish. Bakit kaya pungent smell? Plerocercoid larva ang kanyang infective stage. When she was about to eat, her spoon fell. Yung spoon, I am referring sa scolex. Okay? Yung scolex niya. Kasi nga, para siyang spoon shape or spatulate. Okay? So, I hope this mini story will help you remember. Okay? Will help you remember about the Lati, the black sheep. Okay? So, I will entitle this story, Lati, the black sheep. Yan. So, I hope these stories that I made will help you to remember the concept associated with cestodes, kahit na magbo-board exam na kayo later, maaalala nyo pa rin siya. Okay? So, huwag kakalimutan tong mga to. Lati, 12-year-old, vitamin B12, sexy girl. Okay? Sexy yung kanyang proglottids, longest, long legs, longest tapeworm. Middle, ang kanyang uterine port. Wears a cap, merong cap, yung may sombrero ang kanyang um, egg, so that is the operculum. Raw fish, ingestion of raw or undercooked contaminated fish, mode of transmission, pungent smell, plerocercoid larva, spoon shape, spatulate shape, that's the scolex. Okay, so that's all. This is the last for cestodes. I hope you will remember all these concepts, and I hope you will get a high score in your quiz and final examination. Thank you.